Welcome to Realities in Real Estate. I'm Adelia Sosanya.
And I'm Lucretia Mitchell.
So, we have another special episode for you today where we did something a little different. We took this episode outside of the studio to bring you something very unique.
Yes, we took it outside of the studio and we had some of our trusted partners, builder partners, as well as real estate experts in the field from insurance to lenders, title, and they came in and spoke with our attendees for those that were interested in possibly building their dream home and or investing about the process and what it takes.
It's going to be jam-packed. Enjoy, and hopefully you guys are able to like and share this video because we really wanted to make sure we offered something special
Yes.
to our Oklahoma community and the real estate industry as a whole. So check it out. Welcome to Realities in Real Estate. I'm Adelia Sosanya.
And I'm Lucretia Mitchell, founder of LM Realty Firm.
Here we're breaking down real life moments, challenges, and triumphs of today's real estate market.
Every episode, we dive into relevant topics, real industry shifts, and ways to build generational wealth, keeping it practical, honest, and of course, true to what we live every day.
So whether you're looking to buy, sell, invest, or just stay in the know,
join us as we share insights and stories from the front lines. This is Realities in Real Estate, where the truth of real estate meets the art of building a lasting legacy. My name is Lucretia Mitchell, and I am the broker, owner, and founder of LM Realty Firm. Our mission, thank you. Our mission is to educate, empower, and encourage individuals on how to build, maintain, and sustain generational wealth. We opened our doors December of 2023, and we're about a year and 4 months old. But I'll just say this, God has been good, okay? Over the last year, I looked at numbers today, and I'm not one, if you know me, I don't toot my horn, I don't brag. This is truly just to say how good God has been to LM. We are 252 out of 690 offices in our MLS. So that is a big deal for me. That means that we're growing, we're building, and we're doing things in excellence, and that's what I love about us. We have an amazing group of individuals that have decided to lock arms with us, and we're privileged to have. And so we're just so grateful to be able to host this event today with some of those individuals. But also, I have a special person that decided to lock arms with me and come on as the co-owner of LM Realty Firm, Miss Adelia Sasanya. Come on.
She's always doing too much. No, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Now, I'm very happy and honored to be a part of LM Realty. Joined in September of last year, and it has definitely been a ride. And so I'm so excited about doing this event because I had an opportunity to build my home, and having something like this would have been very helpful. And so hopefully, as you guys are starting your journeys, or if you're in the middle of the journey, that you will be able to get some questions answered and really get a chance to learn from what we have created and curated here for you today. So we're very excited. We have an amazing panel of guests that are just going to come and pour in their best industry knowledge. So let's get it going.
Yes, and welcome to the first Build Your Dreams event by LM Realty Firm. All right, let's get started.
Okay, so we have our guests here from insurance, title companies. I'll let you guys just start with some introductions of a little bit about who you are. Please introduce yourself and explain your role in the company, and we'll just start right here to my left.
I'm Zona Scholl. I'm with Chicago Title Edmond. I'm the branch manager and escrow closer at that office. I've been in the industry for almost 20 years, so I've got lots of experience to back me and a great team as well. So.
My name is Tashyla Alexander. I am also with Chicago Title Edmond. I have been a closer for 6 months? Maybe 8 months. So I'm fairly new to this industry.
My name is Taylor McCarroll. I'm a mortgage lender at Allegiance Credit Union, and I've been a lender. This is going to be my third year, but I was also a realtor prior to that, so I know best of both worlds, actually.
Hello, my name is Narissa Berry. I am the owner and principal agent for Narissa Berry Insurance Agency, my office is here in Edmond, but we do serve the entire state. I have 5 agents underneath me and a few assistants to help us as well.
Hello, I am Tiffany Hightower. I am with Cornerstone Home Lending. I have been in the mortgage and real estate industry since 1998, so a long time.
Thank you all. Will y'all give it up for them? Thank you so much. Listen, one thing I know, this is not everybody's cup of tea to be up here in front of people, and so I know it takes a lot. So thank you guys for saying yes. All right, so we've already introduced, so let's get right down into it. Miss Narissa, what does your company actually specialize in, and why would these individuals that came to Build Your Dreams event would need to use you?
So let me give a little background. Okay, so Narissa Berry Insurance Agency, we are an independent insurance agency brokerage firm. And what that means for you is that I'm not just tied to one carrier, right? So you know how there are your State Farms or your Farmers Insurance. Those agents are only allowed to sell that carrier's insurance products, right? So as an independent insurance agency, I have chosen to contract with multiple carriers. And so there are insurance companies like Allstate and Progressive and Geico and a plethora of insurance companies that you may not even be aware of that are for homeowners and also for commercial properties that I have chosen to contract with. There are so many companies out there. So that's the biggest thing, that the number one reason why you would want to deal with our company is because we do have options for you. So if I put you in let's say we put you in Allstate for your insurance or for your home or for your property, and next year your rate increases, then guess what I get to do for you? I get to shop it around for you, and you're not stuck with that one particular carrier. So that's what we specialize is finding out what's best for you, because insurance can be complicated. There is not a one size fits all. It's not, okay, so you need this coverage, you need this. There are different things and different aspects when it comes to insurance. So being able to be with an insurance agency that's going to allow you to have those options would be the biggest thing.
Awesome, awesome. Why would someone say, why would my builder have need to have specific insurance coverage, and how can I verify this? So if it was someone building with the builder, why would their builder need to have insurance, and why would they need to have that verified?
Yeah, good question. So when I'm operating and when I'm working with builders, one thing that they always ask for, obviously, that you need to have, it would be what we call builder's risk insurance. And that's actually, it's like course of construction. So it's what that is that while the building or while your home is being built, this will ensure that the property is insured from any losses that could happen, whether it's fire or whether it's tornado or rain or wind, whatever is happening outside today, right? So it will protect the investment, because as the homeowner, you want to make sure that your builders are properly insured. Your builder will have general liability insurance coverage, at least they should. Your builder will have general liability insurance coverage. Your builder will have builder's risk coverage. And there are different aspects to it, whether you're in the course of construction from building from the ground up, or even if you're in the course of construction from a renovation. So there are different aspects to what you need for your insurance policy when it comes to that as well. You know, when you're doing the builder's risk, what if something gets stolen that's on the property at the time during the course of construction? You've worked hard to have cabinets delivered to your property, and they're going to be installed next week, and the next thing you know, those things are gone. And if there's not any insurance in place to take care of that, then that will put you in a bad position. So making sure that your builder has the proper insurance in place is vital. You can ask for that. That's simple. You can just say, can I see, like a certificate showing that you do have coverage for your insurance? It's an easy ask.
Okay. Let's see. If there's a construction delay or unexpected damage, how would the policy handle these issues?
Yeah, so inside of a builder's risk policy, there are multiple things that you can actually select. There's options, right? So there are options where I can, for my builders, select course of construction delay. I can select that if the property has not sold, that it would actually help the builder not have to shoulder so much of that expense. There are certain things, let's just say that someone is building a property just for rental purposes and they haven't been able to rent the property after it's been built. There are things inside of those builder's risk policies that I can actually select to protect the builder or the homeowner, the property owner in that respect. But there are just multiple things that are inside of those. And if you're not dealing with someone that understands what each of those things are, or they don't select certain, they don't know what things to select. And also another thing that I like to bring up a lot of times that people aren't aware of, throughout the building process, and I know builders are aware of this, but throughout the building process, building codes can change through the building process, and if you don't have building code coverage on that policy as well, you can be affected. But the homeowner may have to pay for an upcharge because they had to change something on the actual building code while during the course of construction. So there are just multiple things that you need to be aware of, and making sure that you're insuring the property correctly when it comes to the value of the property as well.
So it's safe to say that you should not build anything without having some type of insurance protection. Okay.
That is safe to say.
Okay.
And even when you're doing renovations, I've seen people who are renovating their property and there's no insurance in place for that. And they're thinking, well, I'm just doing a little simple renovation. Well, what if you simply burn down your house? So, so let's just make sure that even if you think it's small, be sure that you're covered.
Good, good. All right. Thank you so much for that. We're going to jump over to our title company.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say with insurance, it's a love-hate thing.
Yes.
You love it when you need it.
Yes. Yes.
I try to make it easy
Hate
for
playing
you.
when it goes up. So
I try to make it easy for you. I try to make it easy.
you do. I personally use her company,
Yes.
so yes.
Me too.
Okay, so I just want to say, just so people know, as realtors, one of the things that we're big on is the relationships that we have with these individuals. And I always like to think of it as a team, right? Your insurance people having good referrals, the mortgage lenders, title people are definitely a part of that team. And so with that, we've already done our introduction. So let's talk to the people a little bit about what does Chicago Title specialize in?
So we specialize in providing title insurance for consumers who are purchasing property. We ensure that the fact that you have clear title to that property, that there's no liens or encumbrance on that property, and that you have clear and equitable title to that property.
Absolutely. So what steps do you take to ensure that the land is clear, that they have a good title before construction begins?
So before we close on a property, we're going to be providing title insurance. So there's steps that we have to take in making that happen. Oklahoma is one of the last remaining abstract states. So we literally have to pull this book of paperwork together of everything that's been filed on the property from statehood till current day. Once we review all of that information, then we go on to pulling name checks of the current owner, making sure that they have no liens against them that would attach to the property, so that we're making sure that you've got clear title to that property.
Okay. Are there any liens that impact the ability to build on a property? Any types of liens?
So not to completely disallow somebody from building, but might take some time to get there to get those cleaned up for sure. But there's always ways to get over hurdles and make things happen for consumers to make sure that they do have that clear title so that they can build.
Okay. So it says here, do you offer title insurance? And of course, we do know that.
Yeah.
Should people consider purchasing it for new construction?
I'm sorry.
Should you consider purchasing it for a new construction property?
So you don't necessarily have to purchase. There are some ways, sometimes builders already own the property, so they can do the construction themselves, the construction loan. But if you are wanting to purchase specific property that's not already owned by a builder, then yeah, you would go ahead and purchase the property. You can do the purchase and construction loan all at the same time. So you don't necessarily have to purchase and then turn around and do the construction loan. So you can do that all at once.
Okay. And this is not on here, but I'm going to throw this question at you anyway. What is something that you've encountered with new construction that most people don't know when considering title work?
Okay, so one thing that we do have issues with sometimes when people decide that they're going to buy a piece of property, they're going to start the construction by themselves, and midway through the transaction, they decide, oh, I'm running out of money. Now I need to get a loan. We cannot insure on that because there are so many people who have already touched that property that there could be outstanding liens, from mechanics liens where somebody's done the work and hasn't been paid for it, which, a lot of times you're running out of money. That can happen. So there's potential of liens coming up in the near future on that property. So that's one of the things that we just really do not like to touch.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. All right, let's jump over to our lenders, the favorite people, the people that give you the money. Okay. All right. So, Miss Tiffany and Miss Taylor. Tiffany already told you she's from Cornerstone, and Taylor is from Allegiance Credit Union. What does your company specialize in when it comes specifically to new construction and building?
So currently with Cornerstone, we do offer a one-time close. A lot of you will hear one-time close, two-time close. A one-time close is where you are able to have your construction loan all the way through. You don't have to change in the middle of purchasing your land and then turning around and getting your permanent financing. And so Taylor and I actually had this conversation that we kind of work together between the two of us with a two-time close where you can actually purchase the land with Taylor and then come to me for
The permanent.
for the
Let's tag
permanent
team.
for the permanent
Yeah.
financing due to the interest rates.
Yeah.
So it can kind of give better products for interest rates.
Yeah, and so with construction loans, especially being a local lender, you're coming in for those draws back and forth. So you don't kind of want to use an investor where you're using them from like a different state or anything like that because you may not be able to get those funds immediately. So when you're doing local, it's really nice to have your credit union do the construction part. You have a set interest rate due to your credit score, and then Tiffany, I'll say, you know what? I'm done with you guys for these 12 months. And Tiffany is going to get you guys into that permanent financing. So
Yeah.
it's really nice to have a team when you're going through this whole project. Great, great.
Here on the Go Local, just saying.
Yes.
They said go local.
Yes, go
Okay.
local.
All right. So just so you know, these questions came from not just Adelia and I, but we asked on Facebook for specific questions, and people actually shared. And so some of these questions are from the public.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So what are the requirements for obtaining a construction loan, and how do they differ from a traditional mortgage?
I can take that one. So traditional and construction really kind of go hand in hand. Still, you still have to have the main three foundation, which is credit, income, and assets. And so a traditional construction loan can go as low as a 620 credit score. But we always strive for the higher credit scores. Remember, that's always the goal, is to a higher credit score can determine your interest rate to be better, as well as you can have more options available to you as well. So.
And I do want to piggyback. So the other difference as well is they have to provide the builder's contract and those builder's plans and specs. So that is another difference you would see for the construction, because we need to make sure you have an accredited builder and not just your friend that's going to build your house and you're like, I need $200,000 for my friend. So we just need to make sure we are vetting. I think that's what we talked about as well, to make sure you guys have a good builder for you.
And how do you decide if it's credible, if they're a credible builder?
So there's a whole list of things. So they'll have to have their insurance available, their builder's contract, just making sure everything looks legitimate. I mean, even with a traditional real estate contract, we just have to make sure that our underwriter and our team are looking through everything. Those specs look good, those floor plans look good, and everything like that. So it's kind of at our discretion.
Yeah, the builder actually has an application that they complete as well.
On their end.
Let's talk a little bit about, this question's not on here, but I'm just, my juices are going now.
We're not ready for this
So
one.
the appraisal process, how does that work with when you're building a new home, because of course there's no comparables usually if it's a new construction. So can you speak to a little bit about, someone that's going through a custom build and how that appraisal works with that?
Mhm. Oh, go ahead. Oh, so you can have multiple appraisals throughout the process. You can have an as is, and you can have an as complete appraisal, and then also you also have inspections for each draw request. So what that looks like is once the draws are done, then there is an inspector that comes out and inspects before we release funds. But the appraisal portion of it, it still gives value for each process or each draw that you go through. It adds value to the property. So that's how you have the as is, and then the as complete once the property is done.
Right.
But we do like to qualify you on the as complete value.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Yeah.
So when you say draws, for anybody that may not know, we have some that are professionals at building and then some that may not be. What do you mean by draws?
So you have a draw schedule that your lender will provide to you and that you and your builder have sat down and gone over. And one draw could be for sheetrock, or it could be for framing, or it could be for cabinets. And I think I'm going a little deep with it, but you have line items.
Yes.
And those line items total your construction schedule and your construction I can't think of the word, but it puts it all together for you, and you have draw requests that you request from your lender for you to be able to pay your builder with those draw requests.
And I do want to piggyback on that because I had one person going through a construction loan and they didn't realize that the actual part of that plan had to be completed before they got the next draw. So at the beginning of the process, you put 20% down, and you'll also probably give your builder some type of deposit. They have their own funds to start the project. So that has to be completed. That first phase has to be completed before we give any type of draw. So I want to always reiterate that they will start that process before we give you all any money for that construction project.
That's good. That's good. Okay, last question. If the cost of construction exceeds the original estimate, will the lender provide additional funding or will they need to secure it elsewhere?
Okay, I love this question. Can I answer it? Okay. So here's the thing. We make sure that you talk to your builder ahead of time. And if you want to even have, I don't know, you want to spend a little bit more on cabinets or flooring or anything like that, put that in your budget. Please go up to that $1 million mark instead of saying, you know what, I think we can get it for $850. Go all the way up. So that way, at the end of the construction, you could have money left in there instead of saying, oh, well, we need 200,000 more because we decided to put in a pool. We're going to say you're going to have to find that somewhere else
Yeah, that happened
because
to
we
me.
cannot increase your construction loan. That is one thing we can never do because we went through the plans with you. You talked to your builder, and that's it. So go high. People say, they go low, we go high. Go high with your amount because you'll need it. You'll need it.
Yeah. Yeah, that personally happened to me. I have an expensive taste about certain things. So
Okay.
yes.
You were that person.
Okay. Your
I
own
was
money.
I was that bougie builder girl.
All right. So it is time for audience questions. Does anybody have a question for our panel before they get off the panel? Any questions? Not one? Okay, I guess
think
we
we
answered.
asked
I
all of
think
them
we
for
asked
them.
all the good questions. Oh, yes, back here. Mm. That's a good. Do you prefer that they build through their LLC or their personal?
It's really to their choice. Not I'm sorry, it's really to their choice. Not all lenders are commercial lenders, though.
I am not.
So, and I am not.
Go
So
through your.
it's really left
Yeah.
And
to
can
the
you
individual.
explain that when you say not all lenders are commercial lenders? So a commercial lender would work with people that are using the LLC.
That have the LLC in existence. And now it's not to say that you can't change after you close from your individual to an LLC if that's what you so choose. But for me, I am a residential lender.
All right. Yes.
That would be our title. Our title company would be able to explain that to you.
So Shyla said I'm not talking today on this panel.
So to change from your individual name to your LLC, that would really just be a matter of filing a quitclaim deed. Just everybody who is in title as individuals also have to be part of that LLC. So if you as an individual are married, you and your husband are both on that title, you and your husband both also have to be on that LLC for it to be a clear transition. For LLCs, a lot of times we have to check with the lender to make sure that they're okay with that, because when it comes to changing title as to how you're vesting versus how you're on the mortgage, the lender can actually call your note due if they find out that you've changed the title in a way that does not fit with what their loan is.
Yeah. With the investor.
I can say something.
Awesome.
If that's okay. Can I
Go
say
ahead,
something?
yeah.
Okay. So that also could change if it's a primary residence or anything like that. So now if it's an investment property and when you got the loan, it was primary residence, that is what she's saying. We can say, oh, well, we can't necessarily change that until an LLC, or we'll have to change some things on our end the way we have this loan. So it's a lot going on in that. Yeah.
All right. Any questions? All right, let's give them a big hand of. All right, next we will have our builders come up.
Okay, so this is the moment we've all been waiting for, to
Yes.
speak to our builders in the house. All right, we'll get started here to my left. So we have Miss Rachel Lepolt. I've already introduced you. So now you can tell us a little bit about yourself, your company, and what you do.
I just want to start off by saying thank you, ladies, so much for putting this on. You guys didn't app the panel before. I learned some stuff, so it was great. Find me later. Let's talk insurance. So my name is Rachel. I am the owner of Hidden Haven Homes. I have been in new construction for a decade, a little over. I started as a building superintendent, eventually worked my way up to director of operations, which is kind of over the field and over construction and operations. And then this is my first build under my own banner.
Yay.
So I'm very excited. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm very excited. I met Adelia, and she is one of the first people I told that I was going out on my own. I was very nervous, and I showed her the plan, and I said, Adelia, please look at this plan. Tell me it's it. And she's like, girl, it's it.
It was genius. I said, this is brilliant. I haven't seen this in Oklahoma. Go for it.
Yeah, we're going to look at that plan later today. However, I am a custom home builder, so that means that I do a custom for you to build. I also really firmly believe in multi-generational. So what multi-generational is letting that golden ager come in and live in your home, that college age child, that person, parent, relative that needs a sense of independence. So in the floor plan we're going to look at today is going to showcase that. It's a 611 square foot apartment inside a 2870 square foot home. It's nice meeting all of you. Thank you.
Amazing.
We just
Same
go?
question.
Okay.
Yeah.
How you doing, everybody? My name is Dwayne Walker. I'm the owner of Cosmopolitan Construction and Development. We specialize in luxury tech smart homes. And so many people ask, well, what is a luxury tech smart home? On the smart side, we just want to embrace the cutting edge lifestyle of working professionals today. So we want to make sure that we solve all the construction nightmares of the past. So I know you guys have heard of things like water pipes bursting due to pipes being on the north wall, so we just don't put pipes on the north wall, or fires happening due to dryer vents, and so we make sure we construct dryer vents in a way that are less dangerous and less likely to catch on fire. There's also areas where houses flood because they left their dishwasher going or they left their washer and dryer going, and so we put drains underneath those things to prevent those things. So that's what kind of makes it smart. Another thing that makes it smart is like a lot of allergies are happening today, especially post-COVID, and so we put fresh air vents inside all of our homes, so we're able to bring in fresh air instead of it just being recycled over and over again. And then on the tech side, we just love technology, and so we embrace the latest technology today. So basically, everybody has smartphones, and so we want you to control everything from your smartphone. Your garage, your lights, your shades, whatever you want. We also love cameras, so you can have 360 views of anybody that's coming around your home. And then some of the other things that we love to play with are things like this linear lighting. So like the latest cutting edge lighting, the latest cutting edge video. Another thing that many homeowners actually say they appreciate the most is the whole home kind of Wi-Fi system. We just make sure there's no dead spots in your home. So whenever no matter where you're at in your house, you're like, okay, I got all my bars, so that's really big for us. We are a custom builder, and we also do some spec homes as well. We love to specialize in boutique neighborhoods whenever we do, development. So I would say neighborhoods of 12 to 15. We don't like to expand too far from that because we don't want to. We're not a cookie cutter builder. What I mean by that, I'm not knocking cookie cutter. Sometimes that gets a bad connotation. I do think it's very important to have homes at every price point. And just like you go outside, you see different cars. It's very important that you have different cars for different, I would say, lifestyles, different, I would say, amounts of money that people make. And so our niche is going to be more so on the luxury side, and people aren't looking for a home that my neighbor may have. Okay, so if you are saying, I want a home that's more special for me, special for our family, that doesn't blend in, that stands out, we're typically going to be your builder. However, it is more expensive to build that way. And so if you're saying, I want to save money, this is the time where I'm trying to get the best home that I can for my buck, then typically we're not going to be your builder. So that's kind of cosmopolitan.
Awesome. I love it. I love it.
And then there was me. My name is Johnny Bonds. I'm with Orbit Homes and Construction, and I started this journey with the purpose in mind that trying to introduce people from my background and my community the benefits of ownership. And so when I took on this task of building homes, I reached out to people who I knew and trying to make that dream that seemed so far away a reality. And so with me, we specialize in building in lower distressed areas, revitalizing the area, and bringing people who have left the area, try to see the value in bringing them back into those areas so that we don't lose those communities. Yeah. It started off in that way, and it's kind of organically moving into other directions. One of the things that I do is try to open up gates for people that look like me and come from where I come, that don't think that being in this seat is possible. So I spend a lot of time working hand in hand with people who want to be investors, who want to learn the industry, who want to learn how to be builders. So that's kind of what we do in our business. And as well as we have taken on new adventures of doing more luxury homes, as well as a lot of more custom builds. So it's pretty simple for me. I just kind of take it how it comes, but that's what we do at Orbit Homes.
That's good.
So much pressure to follow up after 3 great.
You
Hey, I'm
are,
Jacoby
you
Winslet.
are important too.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Hey, I'm Jacoby Winslet. I am with Timbercraft Homes. I am the sales and marketing manager, and I'm also the exclusive agent for Timbercraft. And so I sell all of their properties and developments. I have a team of sales assistants that work with me. So those are the guys that are going to be out in the communities and that are going to kind of catch those initial walk-ins whenever someone comes into our neighborhood. So unlike the other 3 here, we are not a a custom builder. Thank you. We are a spec builder, so we have 15 set floor plans that you can choose from. However, we do allow you, one thing that kind of sets us apart from a lot of other spec builders is that usually you can't make a whole lot of changes to their plan. This is the plan. They're going to give you a few selections for flooring. You may have a couple options for some paint, countertops, that type of thing. One thing that's different for us is that we do allow you to make some personalizations to that plan. So one of the plans we're going to walk or demonstrate today for us is our Laguna plan, which is our largest floor plan. It's 3,000 square feet, but I have someone right now who has turned that plan into 3,300 square feet. And so just to give you an example of, they're adding an extra bedroom and another bathroom upstairs. They're adding like an additional living space downstairs. And so we have to start with the framework that we have in the plan, but we can make adjustments. And I'm so excited to see this place because I was talking with Megan, what a great option and opportunity for people to come, especially when they make those changes to the plan, to be able to come here, walk it, see the differences. I think it's great. The other thing that's going to be different for us is, like I said, we give you a lot of selection. So we actually have an in-house design center so our office is located right behind living spaces. So that is over by May and Memorial. And so the whole first level of our office is our design center. We have a showroom floor, kind of give you some examples of various different kitchen styles and countertops and cabinets and all that fun stuff. So I am so excited to be here. I've been in the industry for almost 2 years now. So I am new and having so much fun. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And you're killing it, by the way. So thank you. All right. So this is for everyone. If you want to answer, you can. What is one piece of advice you'd give to someone looking to build their dream home?
I'll start. Ladies first, right?
Yeah.
I would say the biggest piece of advice that I would give you looking your new home is making sure that you look at your lot, the location, the school district, the things that are really going to be important to you, including the floor plan. So the entire layout of your home, the design, the aesthetic, the feel, it's a lot. But most importantly, surround yourself with people that are going to help support you and a great team that's going to make sure that we get it done, down to your lender, to your insurance, to your realtors, to the builder, making sure that you ask all the questions and finding somebody that is extremely transparent.
I'll just piggyback on that. So everything she said is true. So I'm just going to add to it. One is budget is so important. I do think it's very important to have a number that you're like, okay, here's how much money I have to spend. And then the second thing that's very important is how many square feet you're trying to build. Typically in that first conversation with me, it's more of a feasibility kind of conversation. Are we in reality or not? You know, I want a 4,000 square foot home and I have a $150,000 budget. It's like, well, let's talk about the cost per square foot today. You know, okay, great. Then they're able to walk away and then understand they need to do a little bit more saving. You know, so I think budget's very important. Amount of square feet is very important just to initially start. And I do think having a meeting with a builder is important during that phase too, because you can then begin to learn what that process looks like and make sure that your dreams and aspirations are actually matching up to your budget. There's 3 things that we do typically in our initial consultation. What's your budget? What's the square feet that you want? And then I want to see some, show me your Pinterest. What would you like this to look like? Because then that helps me also understand the aesthetics. Because if it's a situation where there's marble floors and, you know, gold windows, I'm like, okay, I'm going to look at that budget again and make sure that it's connected. It's so important as your builder that all of us are going to do one thing really well. We're going to be honest with you. The last thing we're trying to do is have you start this journey and say yes to things that at the end of the day, you get a product that you don't like or you end up not being able to afford it. So it's so important that you meet early. We're going to be honest with you so that at the end of the day, we're setting you up for success.
Yeah, I think he hit it on the head. It's like just being honest with your consumer and really having a realistic approach to what the goal is. And when we look at the money and the finances that it takes, because, you know, a lot of people who get into this business, want to buy a house, they really don't know what $100,000 can and can't get, So when you get to putting it on paper and you get to buying it, it doesn't seem so big, right? But the other thing is, for me, I would just plan before you even lay that wood on the ground. Really do proper planning and the preparation that goes into it, but also being honest and transparent with your consumer, because you're gonna have to babysit them the whole way. So having that open line of communication with them and being able to bring that community to wrap them around, because it's an emotional roller coaster for someone who's building their dream home. So just being able to manage the relationship side is very key.
I agree with everything they stated, especially connecting obviously with a good lender and a good realtor. For us, Dwayne mentioned something about budget. Not everyone can afford a custom home. And so that's where I want to be. We want to be that option for those people who cannot afford that custom home. They can't afford to come and start a new plan from scratch and have a custom builder do it. And so we're their next option to where we can provide an affordable opportunity for them to come and choose a floor plan, make selections, and still have it personalized to them. And so it's still a building experience, just not quite on the custom level. And so budgeting is huge. It's so often where I meet with people, and I do a lot of advertising on social media. And so that's where I get most of my clients and buyers from. But they'll come and I'm like, okay, so what type of budget are we working with? Where do we want to be? And they're like, oh, I don't have a budget. And I'm like, so are you like a millionaire? Like we just got unlimited funds, everybody has a budget, and I need to know, should I be showing you a $900,000 home that I have or a 289 home? And so definitely budget and connecting with a good realtor and lender.
I got to piggyback on that. Like if I flip the question and like, what should you not do? And that would be, don't think that we're car salesmen. Not that car salesmen are bad. However, many times you don't want to show your hand of what your budget is when you're going to buy a car. This is the opposite. You want to be as gut honest as you can. Like, here's our number, because the less honest you are about the budget, the worse we're going to be able to serve you. And this is going to make the process either much longer or we're going to end up not meeting an expectation. We're actually your partner in building your dream, not it costs what it costs. We can't change the price of wood. We can't change the price of windows. So it really does, there is no haggling. Like, it is what it is. And so we're able to really help you really set a pathway of how do we get you from here to where you want to be. So please be honest with your budget.
I want to add to that, and also being flexible as a consumer, so like you may have you want this really nice marble backsplash. Well, instead of taking it away, just offer them something different. Yeah. You're like, have you ever thought about, this tile that kind of looks similar, and just kind of take them to the place where they think they want to be, that fits their budget. Because a lot of there are so many different products out there on the market that look like one thing, but then they have price points that everybody can hit and get that same look. So.
Yeah, that's good. Wow, y'all went with that question. Yes. I love it. Okay, so if you were starting in this market today, and this kind of feels more like an investment question, with limited capital, what would your first move be? If you were starting in this market today with limited capital, what would your first move be?
I want to ask a clarifying question. So you're looking to invest, is that correct?
In building.
We're going to go with that. Building, you're looking to build.
Yeah, investment.
Yeah, an investment.
If it's an investment
property or a personal property?
This would be an investment property.
Investment property. So you have limited funds, you're looking to invest. What's your first step? Did I hear that right?
What's your first move?
I would, I think many people might have different approaches. My personal approach is, my first step, as soon as I'm looking to invest, I'm going to find somebody who I believe is trustworthy, that I can begin to ask questions and learn what are different opportunities of investment. And then I would ask this $1 million question every time. Mm-hmm. If you were me, what would you do if you were in my shoes with this money? Yeah. That is $1 million question. It takes some vulnerability to ask that. And that'll it now turns the tables for the person with wisdom to be able to say, well, here's what I would do. Many times you'll get a completely different answer than somebody who, here's one of the biggest mistakes I see. Somebody who has they've never done it before, right? Mm-hmm. But they're trying to lead the process. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes when you ask the wrong questions, you get the wrong answers. That's true. And so if you just don't even pretend like you're the expert and say, okay, hey man, here's how much I have. What would you do if you were in my shoes? And typically they're going to be very honest. They're going to say, like, man, with that, I think I'm going to wait a little bit. I'll wait till I get to about this number, and then this is what I would do. That's probably what I would say.
Yeah, that's good.
You got something?
I think.
Okay.
I actually I believe that way to for me I like to like look and listen, and like you said, I'll ask somebody who has been down that road. It's funny because I had a conversation with a friend today that's about the exact same thing. We go back and forth.
Y'all,
to
that's the
learn from
12
one another.
o'clock. It's Saturday.
Is that what that is?
Okay, I'm sorry, Johnny.
That's the 12 o'clock bell.
Everybody was like,
Hey, the building don't seem so structured, do it? But however, so when you get in there, most of us take our very last money, the money we've saved up or whatever have you, and we're willing to throw it into something. So you want to make sure that when you throw it out there that you hit it and you hit it hard. But there is no sure ways. At some point, you want to learn from the people around you and just not try to be the smartest person in the room, and surround yourself with people who's smarter than you and learn that core fundamentals of it. And once you figure it out, then you can make the tweaks and changes. Yeah. But you have to find a product that actually works. But I think the advice would change from market to market, person to person. Yeah. In certain markets, you might say, well, but that first money, I'm going to build the first house, I'll keep it, rent it out, and then re-leverage it to pivot it into another market. But in a really good market, it's like, well, I can build this one, sell it, make a whole lot of money, then rebuild another one, build capital that way. So I think the answer to that question really dependent on what the goal is and actually what the market's doing at the time.
yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, I have a question for you. If someone came to you with land or lot already, how do you determine if it's buildable, if you can actually build on that?
I'll start this. That is the $1 million question in a custom home builder's mind, right? Somebody comes to you and says, hey, I got this lot. I have this piece of land. Trust me, it's gorgeous. You can see the Devon Tower. Everything about it is perfect, right? It's a real thing, okay? And then I'm like, great, I am so happy for you to invest in your future. This is exciting. I'm glad that you've chose me to be your builder. Let me go check out this beautiful lot. And then I get there. Girl.
Drainage ditch right next to
No utilities, no way to drain it. Got retaining wall? Yes, please. All the way around the house. Might as well just build a moat because the whole house is gonna flood, okay? So it is so important that when you are looking at a lot, you make sure those utilities are there, okay? You make sure that the drainage looks good. And if you don't know those questions, call us. Call those builders. Call those people that will be willing to come out there and look at that lot for you. I can tell you the biggest mistake people make is they buy the land because it's pretty. And trust me, there's a lot of pretty land. There really is. But then at the end of the day, you got to know, where's your sewer coming from? Where's your water? Where's your electric? How much dirt work? Am I going to hit rock? Do I need a well? Is there a septic tank? Do you see what I'm saying? It just keeps going. And so the most important thing is find somebody that's really educated and picking a lot, because we will be honest with you, because trust me, we don't want those problems either. And we want to make sure the most important part about selling a home is the foundation, right? So we want to make sure that foundation is protected.
That's good.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. All right.
What's some things you see newer developers or builder investors constantly overlook that ends up costing them the most time or money-wise?
An investor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That-
a new developer or builder investor that constantly overlooks that ends up costing them the most money or time.
Honestly, I think it's the last
Yeah.
question. Like the due diligence on the land wasn't done. And once they come to us, here's how much it's going to cost it to even start. I think that's
So
one of the
picking out
biggest
that land.
Yeah, picking
is
out the
key.
land to understand what is it going to take for us to build there. Because after that, it's pretty simple. But the land is typically the biggest area that people overlook. No question about it. At least for me.
Yeah. All right. Great. What design trends or features are buyers prioritizing right now when choosing a newly built home?
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you guys are going to see the plan that has been just curated and loved by me so much. You have no idea. I can't wait to show it to you. However, design is so highly important to me, but it's not just important to me because I love design, right? It's important because I love a buyer's eyes light up when they get that perfect backsplash or their vision or their Pinterest board comes to life, right? So design trends that I'm seeing are a lot of arches, a lot of modern Tudors. Contemporary is my personal favorite, so I love what Timbercraft does. They have a very contemporary style home. And then I also love like Scandinavian, mid-century modern design. So what I think is really special about 2025 is for a while we've been kind of in a bucket when it comes to elevation design, and elevation is the exterior of your home and even interior design because of COVID and all the things that were happening. So it was just pump out white walls, that shiplap, that country, farmhouse style. And now in 2025, builders got to impress you. We got to show you what we can do. And I think the biggest thing is being different is really kind of exciting because you can do so many different angles now. I mean, the 90s are coming back in TV. Yeah. They're coming back in the houses. You want pink carpet, girl, let's do it because it's happening. So I would say the biggest thing is arches are really big. Stain is kind of making a comeback as well. A lot of marble, a lot of technology and lighting, and really like putting that lighting, the jewelry of your house into that home.
That definitely
You did
answered
it.
it.
You
can
Some things
feel the excitement.
I
coming
love
off.
it. I really do. I was like, let me let the designer go first. What I'm seeing is a lot of love for the spacious closets that are really designer, that feel like like you're walking into a showroom of Louis Vuitton, something like that. Spacious pantries. I think many and these people who love to cook, they hate things that expire because you can't see it all. And so just having spacious pantries where you can actually see all the things that you have. Another thing that I'm finding that many people are loving is in the primary suite, putting their own washer and dryers in that suite. They've really been loving that, to where there's washer and dryers for everybody else, but I ain't gotta leave my suite for mine. So that's been another trend. So I'll probably say those have probably been the top trends that I've been seeing so far.
I would add to that, we put a washer and dryer upstairs with our kids because 2 level, and it was actually our builder's idea. They were like, "You don't want them bringing the baskets down the stairs and scratching up your walls." I was like, "I sure do not want that."
Right.
So yes, they have their own laundry
So
room upstairs.
good.
I love that. Okay, so along those lines, I want to get into some energy efficiency stuff. So how do you approach building energy efficient and sustainable homes? And are builders showing more interest in these features?
I'll start, I guess. I didn't have a lot of interest in that at all at the beginning, just because all it meant was a lot more money that I would spend, but wouldn't get it in return in value. So this is I would say a very challenging topic, because I think most builders have the appetite to want to build it as efficient and sustainable as possible. Yeah. However, when it comes to appraisals, they're not taking any of that into account. Mm-hmm. They're like, "Oh, we don't care how much you spend on insulation. Praise God, amen." Yeah. So that's I would think it's very important to understand that as a consumer. Like, okay, not all efficiency is going to equate into value of my home when I try to resell it. Okay. And if we do that in a spec home, many times we just eat that cost. So I'm doing my best, which I think they probably are doing the same, just to find that happy medium. Yeah. Like, what are the things that we can maximize in efficiency and sustainability, but at the same time not waste the customer's money or our money in the process.
Like solar panels?
Like solar panels.
Right.
So
Right.
I love the fact that they're coming out with different type of tax credits to try to help compensate for that. And I think that the more they do that, the more likely that people are going to begin to put them on their homes. And the second thing, I think also they got to come out with better technology, make it look more aesthetically pleasing as well. Yeah. However, so things like, I would say on our end, here are the things that we do. On our windows, we make sure that our windows are really I would say sealed properly, made effectively to maximize the energy efficiency of the home. Number two, we have a super seal package that happens with all of our insulation. So it's not just the insulation that we're insulating your walls. We also caulk all the gaps in all the wood where air can potentially penetrate. Another thing we talked about earlier is the fresh air vents. That's really good from an energy standpoint, and then also from a healthy home standpoint, trying to keep any water from ever entering to the home, because obviously that can cause mold and different type of allergy issues. So we do our best anywhere that water's likely to have a malfunction, like a busted pipe or any type of appliance malfunctioning. Make sure we have drains or appropriate mitigation for those things.
That's good.
That's good.
For us, we obviously pride ourselves on building an energy efficient home. I mentioned earlier, we talked about budget. And so for our buyers, we know that we don't have the $1 million buyers who, although I do have a client right now who's, they wanted to like double insulate. They wanted soundproof in between the two levels. And so we had to have that conversation of, you do understand that when the appraiser comes in, they're not going to account for that. And so a lot of times, and if you know about personality types, what I find is that your organizers, they really care about those details and about the R values and things like that. But most of the people that come in, they like, it looks good. They don't really care about what's behind the wall. But for us, we do a blow-in insulation to ensure that all those crevices are filled. We also do the super seal. We have your radiant barrier decking in the attic. So we try to provide as energy efficient at home as we can, that's above industry standards, but still affordable and cost effective for our specific buyer.
And I think it's pretty the same across the board. I mean, that's a arena that even the city that you may be in may have an inspection process on, and pretty much that standard, certain windows, certain level of R values in the wall, certain R values in the attic that they put in place to maintain that even for this climate that it's going to be sufficient enough. Anything above that will be more of a preference, and really I think a lot of it comes down to educating your consumer, because some of it really does become overkill depending on the region that you live in. Right. So that's one of the things that kind of like really be mindful and speak to your consumer about, and make sure that cost there's a benefit to the cost, and not really kind of wasting money just because somebody said it's a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Energy Star Home gets you a discount on your insurance, is what Miss Narissa Berry said. So contact her, please.
And I'll throw this out there too. One mistake that many people make is they make the decision to spend extra money on energy efficiency or sustainability without counting the cost. Many times I have them do it, just do the math. So for example, foam insulation is really awesome. And so here's how much money we're going to save in our bills over time. I'm like, okay, go ahead and do that math real quick. How many years is it going to take you to get that back? And I just want to make sure that you're okay with that. And sometimes they are. Let's go do it, because foam insulation is phenomenal. However, if you're saying that I'm going to do foam insulation, I'm going to get my money back in 2 years, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, and they have also products where you can do hybrid versions of all of it. We can foam the walls and spray and just blow insulation in the attic, or vice versa, to kind of get that, because if you blow the attic, it's really going to give you that same luxury in Oklahoma, and you can get the same savings and just do a blow in on the walls, or vice versa. It just depends on where you want to spend the money. Right. So there's options to kind of mix it a little bit.
Good. All right, just for time, because I want you guys to be able to ask some questions. I'm going to pitch this to Jacoby, and then we'll have one more question. What financial incentives or programs are you currently offering? Rate buy downs, closing assistance, and how effective have they been helping buyers move forward?
Yeah, I think that's our driving force, actually, is being able to, because a lot of our buyers, they don't have a huge amount of money saved up. And so they are coming in, they're like, hey, I got this amount, what can we do with it? And so obviously that's where we have to kick in as a builder and say what type of incentives, and I have to look at our profit margins and see how much can I give on that specific home. So for us, we don't have blanket incentives. A lot of builders, especially spec builders right now, have like these, $20,000 kind of blanket incentives you can use. I do it on a per home basis because it depends on how long the home's been on the ground, how bad do I need to move it, how much money did we put into it. There's a lot of factors that go into it, but we have some really good lender partners that we're connected with, and both of those partners contribute towards that incentive as well. And so obviously as a builder or a seller, we cannot contribute to down payment, but we can contribute to closing costs and buying the rate down. And so the most effective thing recently has been doing that buy down to get the payment to an affordable level. And then one of my lenders has like a $15,000 grant right now for down payment assistance. And so I've had a couple buyers in the last couple weeks that are having their entire down payment covered by the lender, and then the builder, we're paying all of their closing costs and or applying some to rate buy down, whatever is for their specific situation. But in general, if you want me to give again, I don't have a blanket number, but in general, I usually try and stay around the 4% range. So about 4% of the purchase price of the home, I can usually give in concessions.
All right.
So with that, I kind of want to touch on, because we got to be relevant where we're at with the times right now. So we're not going to overlook the fact that there are tariffs that are coming down the pipeline. So I want to touch on that because, as Jacoby just mentioned, there's opportunities and ways, of course, to save on closing costs, and of course the rates have gone down. Speak to Tiffany and Carol about that later. So how are supply chain issues or material costs influence your build timelines, or just how we're going to be looking at pricing in 2025? What are you preparing for? How are you guys positioning yourselves with these tariffs?
So I don't think it's just about the tariffs. I would say materials, normally as a builder, you get 1 to 3% increase every year on almost every single product, okay? You're talking about your appliances, your HVAC unit, those normal things that you have to purchase in a home. This year, I'm already seeing upwards of 6 to 8% to even 10% on just materials that go in your home, which kills a buyer. It kills a general contractor or a home builder. It's kind of this sinking feeling, not just because this affects myself and my business, but I know that it's going to affect the buyers. So for me, it's kind of soul crushing. I'm going to be honest. However, the price of the Oklahoma City market and the price of our homes and the quality that you get with almost any builder in the state is so exceptional that I think our market can use a little bit of an increase in home prices. We want to try to keep them down. Affordable housing is a real problem. So one of the things that I'm hoping to do is to bring customs to people that are not looking for a luxury build. I think it's very important that people feel original and they have multi-generation, and multi-generation could be used for just even having a long-term rental person in your home helping you pay for that mortgage, an Airbnb. So those things are the things that I'm thinking about to kind of combat the tariffs, the pricing that's changing.
That's good. Never thought about it like that.
So I won't speak on the specifics for tariffs, just because our team is still kind of actively discussing. As of now, we have not done any price increases. However, one thing that I try and stress to our buyers is obviously whenever we go under contract on your home and we set that price, we're locked in at that price. And so if a tariff does come after, the builder just has to eat that. And so that is kind of incentivizes the buyer to, especially if they're thinking about buying or building here soon, to do that now in anticipation of those tariffs coming, and then it's their gain or loss. So
Awesome. So last question, because I want to get to the questions out here. We do have some real estate professionals out in the audience, and a lot of people want to know, do these builders work with real estate agents? And so that's the question. Do you guys work with real estate agents?
Heck yes. Yes. Bring him home. Listen, it is a team. And I would rather you, as a potential person that's wanting to build a home with Hidden Haven, I would rather you come to me with a realtor so that we can all sit down and have a conversation. And I'm not the only bad guy in the room, because I promise you there's going to be times where I'm say that's not in the budget. And then I'm going to look to your realtor and I'm going to say, right? like where are we at? You know what I mean? So I think it's really important that I love realtors personally. I am not one. I know I come across really salesy, but I can't sell a home. I can build a dang good one, but I can't sell it. However, I would say it's really important. I have met a client that's looking to do a custom home, and they really are not asking the right questions. I had to kind of stop her and say, do you have an agent, a realtor? Because when you can tell, I could just take advantage of the situation. I did not, okay? We talked about it, and I said, hey, you should probably think about getting someone. I think it's really important that you ask these questions. Let's rewrite your question list as you're talking to these builders and investigating a build for yourself, because they're really important questions that a realtor can help guide you through the process. They're also a teammate. I mean, there's somebody that is so knowledgeable that I call and ask for help. I'm like, hey, I don't know how to handle this. How do I handle this? You know, you really need those people around you. It's the biggest investment of your life is to build a home or to buy a home, right? And so you want to make sure that you surround yourself with the people that are going to support you in that process.
I would echo everything she just said. Realtors are a very, very, very good thing. This event is put on by a phenomenal realtor group. Come on. So of course we've are partnered with LM, and one of the things that I think that really help the building process is that additional relationship to help guide on the buying side. And I would say that it just creates a level of trust between buyer and builder that is just really important. And I think the absence of a realtor typically it's a tougher trust bridge to build because many times there's questions that the homeowner has, and whenever we answer them, in their mind, they're not telling us this, but in their mind, they're thinking, is this really true? Should I really trust him when he's saying this? And when that realtor's in the room, it just bridges that gap very quickly. Like, absolutely, we've seen this. This is normal. Here's the market survey. Here's why he's saying that. You see what I'm saying? And so I definitely would advocate having a realtor, because it's going to give you peace of mind to make sure that A, you're not being taken advantage of, and B, you're getting the best bang for your buck.
Yeah, I 100% agree with everything they said. You definitely need somebody to advocate for you on your side. But even as being a builder who builds and sells and builds and holds and look for different investment opportunities, I lean on my real estate agents and brokers. LM being one of those. Shout out to LM. Shout out to I Love Realty and a host of other ones that we use to make our business profitable and sustainable. I think what we're talking about is building a community. So I think it's important that when you get into investing, you build that community of people and resources so that you can you lock, like you said earlier, lock arms with in order to push your brand forward. And I've leaned on LM many times, and LM's leaned on me, and it's just a partnership that we all just kind of work together to make sure we all are functioning and very successful.
Absolutely. For Timbercraft, we absolutely love and support realtors, and I encourage our buyers to have a realtor on their side. Obviously, it is their choice to utilize one or not. We will always and forever pay realtors 3%, and so we are a
3 carats. We don't talk about commission.
Well, okay, well, you can't talk about it. I can talk about it. You don't talk about it. So I want it to be known that for me, a realtor, majority of the time, is typically my only repeat buyer. Someone may come buy a home from me, and if I'm still here in 10 years, selling for Timbercraft, maybe they'll come back to me. But a realtor, we can have repeat transactions every month, and I have a handful of those where we've built up a relationship now to to where they don't even come half the time. They just say, hey, I'm sending you, what time you got today? I'm sending you so-and-so. Can you show them? They know that I'm going to take care of their buyer. I'm not going to cut them out the deal. We're going to write it in. They register their buyer with us. And so, and then the other trade-off, what you mentioned, is a partnership. A lot of realtors, especially newer agents, they don't have listings right off the bat, and they don't have homes to post and advertise to make that content. And so I also allow for those realtors to come in and host open houses in all my listings. I have, sometimes upwards of 20 move-in ready homes at a time. I can't sit in all of them. And so I love for realtors to go sit in it, go make content, record, post it. It's more marketing, it's more advertising, and we all win. So.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for builders that was not asked? Any questions? Okay, so we did a good job answering all y'all's questions. Okay. Well, first of all, I want to thank each and every one of you for braving this rain / we may get some snow, I heard, all of the things that are happening today. And we truly want to thank Walk Your Plans for allowing us to be here today and host this event. This is our first, I'm going to say, annual Build Your Dreams event. And for me, it was a success. I don't know about y'all. Did y'all get what y'all needed today? Yes. And thank you to each and every one of our panelists for being here. Listen, when LM partners, we vet people. We make sure that they are doing things in excellence. And so these are people that we trust, that we lean on in this industry to make sure that we are serving our community and make sure that everything that we are putting out is information that is valuable to you. So we thank each and every one of you for being here. We thank each and every one of our panelists.
Thanks for tuning in to Realities in Real Estate. We hope you're walking away with insights and ideas that bring you closer to your real estate goals.
We're here to support, educate, and empower you, whether you're our next client or a fellow agent ready to level up.
And if you've enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs to hear it.
And remember, real estate is more than just property. It's about building wealth, community, and a legacy. Real estate can become your reality if you want it to.